After driving slowly and crunching gears for several miles, I slowly kinda got into rhythm and thought, I'm driving. Hell yeah, I'm driving. It gave me a sense of accomplishment and some freedom. I could maybe go places. I felt safer than walking the streets, that is. Admittedly, I was only going 10 miles an hour, if that. I drove past the tower blocks. Once again, my eyes were caught by the glint of that wind chime. It stirred something in me. I could hear the chime in my head and remember the flat, all neat and tidy. Lives. That whole block. Empty. All those lives. Gone. Where? Turned into creatures. It hardly seemed possible in this quiet, serene day. I steeled myself and was determined to fortify the mansion, to hoard as much as I could, to feel safe. I drove a little further out of town, to the big hypermarket. Like the Girl Scouts, I was going to be prepared for anything. I slowly pulled into the empty parking lot. It was huge, and there was only one vehicle. So I, parked right in front of the doors. Because I can. I now wished I had a bigger car, but there was still room, and there was always the roof rack. I was just about to get out when I thought better of it. I started the engine again and drove round to the back of the store, where there was just huge bins, and obviously the store entrance. There was a loading bay and the doors were open, and a van. It was only when I turned my own engine off that I heard the other engine. My stomach flipped with excitement. I got out and quietly, slowly, holding my breath, I crept up to the side of the van. I peeked around into the passenger side window. It was empty. The keys were in the ignition. I could hear a noise from inside the store, the storage area. Movement, laughing, male laughter. It put me on edge. I'm not sure why. It sounded like the laughter you'd get from people having fun, revelers, people in pubs, celebrating. I dared to creep closer. I kept as quiet as possible. Every footfall I felt echoed. It didn't. I got to the edge of the door and there was a sudden yelp. A dog, in pain. The men laughed. I didn't like this. I marched straight back to my car and got out my bow and arrow. I didn't know what I was going to do. No time to practice. The dog yelped again. There was more laughter, and then footsteps. Walking away, thank goodness. I rounded the corner, in the open doorway, and held up my bow and arrow, ready to shoot. There was no one there. Just a dog, laying on its side, tied up. I took a breath and lowered my arrow. I could hear the voices, further down, deep into the store now, rifling cans and bottles by the sound of it, into trolleys. I knelt down by the dog, an Alsatian. He was alive. He had blood around his face. He looked like he'd been kicked. I quickly and swiftly undid the knot and picked up the poor thing. He was heavy, but I could bear any weight for this poor chap. Murmuring soft words in his ear. It's okay. It's all right. I've got you. I took him back to my car and laid him on the passenger seat, shut the door ever so quietly, and drove away. I imagined the drunken fools coming back and finding the dog gone. Would they think he just, got out of his leash? I hope so. Did they hear me driving away? I don't think so. They were making too much of a din and were quite frankly drunk. As we drove, I spoke soft words to the poor thing and thought to myself, alive. There's some men alive. Maybe not the sort that I wish to know, but people are humans nonetheless. And this brave boy, I'm sure he'll be fine. He whimpered a little and then closed his eyes. Relieved, probably. I didn't take the straight route back to the manor, but took a few winding roads, keeping a particular eye on my rearview mirror. And as in most towns and villages, I found a small corner store. Perfect. I hurried inside, giving the dog a little pat before I left. Gathered up water, pet food of course, and anything else I could cram into that trolley. I felt some urgency as the light was starting to go. I just wanted to get back to safety, me and my new friend. I crammed everything into that car, but made sure to give the dog a drink before we left. He was so thirsty he lapped it up. I wonder how long he'd been tied up there. Not since the beginning, I hope. As we headed off back to the manor, I wondered what I would call this brave beast. He had a collar, but no name tag. Okay, boy. What's it to be?